लाइव स्ट्रीम हो रहा है।
Software experience whenever we push out the major Android update. So what does that mean for the updates everyone's talking about? So here's what's happening with the Android Oreo. We never release any of our software updates without running them by our most dedicated users. So later this month, OnePlus 5 users around the world will be able to try out Android Oreo in open beta. You can download this from our forum. With your help, we will look to scratch the last remaining bugs and glitches before pushing out the public updates to Oreo. So when will that go down? Android Oreo will come to OnePlus 5 in early 2018. And we cannot talk about Oreo without talking about our latest flagship offering. So whenever we release a new device, our team needs to test and optimize the software experience to make sure it's thoroughly reliable. A combination of new hardware and a lack of user input make developing software for the new device more difficult than developing software that's already in the hands of users. We believe it's always better to release a solid update at a later date than pushing out a buggy updates early. Therefore, Android Oreo will also arrive on the OnePlus 5T open beta late December. So we are pretty excited to get everyone started on the Oreo in 2017. Oh, wait. Damn, I just said the OnePlus 5T. It's not started yet. So I think I guys need more information of the OnePlus 5T, so I want to bring up our co-founder, Carl Pei, to the stage. Thank you.
What's up, New York? In a month, we'll be celebrating our 4th anniversary, but it feels way longer than that because so many things have happened. So let's go back to how it all started. We were a group of product people, engineers, and marketers, all working in the smartphone industry, and all had ideas on how things could have been done better. But I don't think any of us thought about actually doing something ourselves, because creating a smartphone brand seemed like such a difficult thing to do. But back in 2013, the smartphone industry was not in a good place. It felt like Android brands competed on who could have the most features, but they didn't really care about design or user experience. So that's why we were all using iPhones. And we realized what a great opportunity we had here. What if we could combine the openness of Android with Apple's focus on design, polish, and user experience? I mean, there must be Android users out there who also care about these things, right? So in December that year, we announced our ideas to the world without even having a product. We also announced our tagline, "Never Settle." And to our surprise, a lot of people seemed to agree with us. They signed up to our community, they talked to us, and they supported us. Of course, there were also the skeptics who felt like we talked a really big talk and we couldn't actually deliver. We had no idea on how many would actually buy our product, so to control risk, we only made 1,000 phones in our first batch. And because we hadn't tested the phone globally, we didn't want to roll it out too quickly. So we created an invite system. You had to be invited by a friend to be able to buy our phones. And because we wanted our very first users to be the most loyal, we had a program where you had to sign up to smash your phone and upload a video to YouTube to be eligible to be selected as one of the first 100 people to try our first product, the OnePlus One. It was kind of designed like a religious ritual, where you had to make a sacrifice to be able to join our movement. But in a week, 140,000 people actually signed up. And when signups were over, we surprised people by telling them that instead of smashing their phones, they could actually donate them to charity. But we didn't tell them until after the sign up because we wanted to test their commitment. Nevertheless, many people still insisted on smashing their phones anyway. So if you search OnePlus Smash the Past on YouTube, you'll still find plenty of videos of people smashing their phones. So here's a sample of them.
the homemade potato gun I will be using to shoot the Galaxy S5. So we have potato all over the back cover. We've got potato all over the screen.
Our first product became wildly popular. People were selling invites on eBay for as much as $400 in the beginning. And to be clear, they weren't selling the phone. They were selling the right to be able to buy them. It got to a point where we were like, hey, let's not let these assholes make money. Let's sell the invites ourselves and donate the money to charity instead. So we worked together with eBay and the UNICEF TAP project on selling invites for the OnePlus 2. And we had originally projected to sell 30 to 50,000 phones in year one, but we ended with almost 1 million, and that's really a lot for a new brand. It also made us feel like we were already successful, that the hard work had paid off, and that we'd proven the skeptics wrong. In fact, we became so confident in ourselves that we started to ignore the feedback from our community because we thought that we had already satisfied them, and now we had to move on to a more mainstream audience. So with the OnePlus 2, we decided to remove NFC, despite our users asking for it. And on top of that, we decided to use the Snapdragon 810 processor. Early on, we knew that the thermal performance of the 810 wasn't very good, but with our newly gained cockiness from our successes in our first year, we were confident in our abilities to handle the 810 processor through software. In the end, we couldn't build a good performance profile on the OnePlus 2 where speed and temperatures were balanced. Either it became too laggy or too hot. And in the end, the product wasn't received well. With the OnePlus 1 and OnePlus 2 being flagship phones, we felt the need to enter the mid-range segment so more people would have access to our products. So we made the OnePlus X, and it was a great product. But it moved us further away from our community. Recently, we asked one of our users whether they liked the OnePlus X, and they said yes. And then we asked them whether they buy it, and they said no. It turns out that our users chose OnePlus because we made high-end flagships, not anything else. So the results of 2015 weren't very great. It seemed like whatever we said or did was wrong, and we attracted a lot of criticism during this year. So as a result, we stopped communicating with them because